Hi everyone, today we're going to be talking about hypothermia, what it is, how to prevent it, and also how to treat it. So first of all, does anyone know what hypothermia is? Yes, Olivia?
I think it's when you get very cold and your body kind of shuts down.
Okay, that's part of it.
Is that right?
Lori, do you have any ideas?
That's about what I was going to say too.
Okay, well...
I don't know the specifics of what actually happens when you have hypothermia.
Okay, well, we're going to talk about some of the symptoms later, but right now I'll just give you the definition of hypothermia. So there's two sort of stages of hypothermia. The first one is mild, and that's when your body temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius. So, and also there's severe hypothermia, which is when it gets below around 32 degrees Celsius. And at this point, hypothermia can be really dangerous or even deadly. Okay, so now we're going to move on to some of the symptoms. So up here, I've got a little game for you. I've got some symptoms up here, or maybe some of them aren't symptoms. You're going to have to find that out. And then we have three columns: not a symptom, mild symptom, or the severe symptom. So both of you come up and place all of these into one of these three categories, and then we'll go over it once you're done.
Okay. So just do it together?
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is definitely not a symptom because if you're cold, you don't really sweat.
So we'll leave that here then, not a symptom?
Okay, so we'll leave that here.
Fatigue is probably a symptom.
Yeah, probably.
I think probably a severe symptom. What do you think? Okay. Not shivering.
What's two of them?
There's two of them.
So I think
that's intentional.
So okay. I think that it's kind of in between, like depending on
a mild and a severe.
Mild and severe.
Okay, so put one here.
And
where's the other? Okay. Palms feel warm. That's probably.
How about we start with the easier ones? How about shivering? Okay.
Shivering.
Well, if it's cold, it seems like something that would be severe.
Yeah, but we just put not shivering there.
Oh yeah, we did. So maybe it's not a symptom.
So I'd say it's not a symptom. Although it doesn't intuitively make sense. But okay. Weak pulse is probably a symptom. I would say that would be
severe.
I think probably severe.
Yeah. Okay.
Sweating. What about sweating?
Oh, I'll do that.
What about sweating?
Well, we're keeping this here, aren't we?
Oh, I don't think sweating is a symptom, do you?
It's not.
Okay.
What about hunger? I think hunger is.
Hunger is a severe symptom? Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
We put this here.
Increased energy is probably not a symptom.
Because like if you're cold, I don't get hyper when cold. Okay.
Okay, let's leave that as not a symptom.
Yeah. Okay, so.
Did you not?
Put that there.
Okay.
Dizziness.
Dizziness.
That's the last one.
Probably mild.
Yeah.
Palms feel warm.
So let's just go. Oh, have we done that?
What about nausea? That's probably a symptom.
Yeah. I don't think.
It's pretty mild.
Yeah, I think it's okay.
Increased energy. What did we decide about sweating?
Keep it. Wait, put up here.
And what about palms feel warm?
I don't think that your palms will get warm when you're cold.
Okay, so we'll leave it like that.
Okay, are you done?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, so you got most of them right. In this category, these three are right, but shivering actually is a mild symptom.
Oh.
So when you start to get below 35 degrees Celsius, your core body temperature, you will start shivering. And also, one thing you might find really surprising is not shivering. The reason there's two of them is because obviously if you don't have hypothermia, you're not going to be shivering. So we'll actually move this over here. And also, once you get really cold, you'll actually stop shivering. So that could be a sign that you're either perfectly fine or they're a very severe case of hypothermia. So it could be one of those two options. Also, hunger. Hunger is a mild symptom, not a severe symptom. That's not a very obvious one, so not really surprised you didn't get that. And also fatigue is not a severe symptom. That's just a mild one.
Okay, so you know you're severe when you're not shivering and you have a weak pulse.
These two are severe. These are mild, and those aren't symptoms.
Okay.
Okay,
Great.
so let's move on now. We're going to move on. So now we're going to just go on to ways you think you can prevent hypothermia. So do any of you have any ideas?
Dress warmly, like just.
Okay. So 1, dress warmly. Any others?
Okay, let me think.
Okay.
Wear a wetsuit if you're in the water.
No.
Okay,
Only
well that's kind
how
of
about
falls in the
only
same category.
only if it's below a certain temperature?
So what would you call that? Like dress appropriately?
Yeah,
Dress appropriately for the weather.
Appropriately for water. I don't know.
Dress appropriately. Okay, anything else? It's okay if you can't think.
Not
of
really.
anything.
Not really. Wait. Don't go outside if it's really below. Below.
Okay.
Well, don't stay outside too long.
Don't stay outside too long. And don't stick your face in the snow.
Okay, well that's
Don't stay outside. No, but don't, if it's like -40, don't stay outside for more than a certain amount of time. Or don't even go outside if it's -40.
Yeah, don't go outside if it's -40.
Okay. And 4, don't go outside if too cold.
It's too cold, yes.
And too cold as in -40.
But I don't know what the actual
number
would need to be.
Like quite a bit less than 0.
Okay, so right now we have these 4. So you actually did really well. One of the biggest ones is dress appropriately. And so it's actually possible that you can dress too warmly in a situation, then you actually start sweating. Because if you start sweating and if you start sweating if you're wearing clothes that are too warm, and then you actually stop doing anything active, that sweat will actually make you colder and actually increase hypothermia. And also the opposite, if you don't wear enough clothes, that one's a bit more obvious. You'll just get cold from the weather.
Right.
So dress warmly kind of falls in that same category. Don't overexert yourself. This is kind of the same thing with sweating. It can make you sweat, and then once you stop working, that's when it can really cool you down and possibly give you hypothermia. Yes?
What is overexert yourself?
Basically like working too hard. So you don't, if it's really cold out and you think there's a chance of getting hypothermia, don't work so hard that you actually start to sweat.
Okay.
And if you do, you might want to go inside for a bit and take a bit of a break.
Maybe dressing in layers is a good idea too.
Yeah, that's actually another one I was just about to say. So dress in layers is another one. It's a lot better to wear a whole bunch of thin layers instead of say one coat.
Right.
Also, stay dry. This is especially relevant for sailing. Once you're wet, it's really easy to get cold. And also, you guys got this one, these last 2 really well. Those are actually 2 of the other ones I was going to say. So if you don't feel comfortable going outside, if it's just too cold, it's your decision. So you don't have to. There's no one forcing you to. And also, if you are outside, if you're already on the water sailing and you start to feel cold, don't be afraid to ask one of the coaches to go inside or take a break. I don't think there's any coach who will say no to that if you're cold. Everyone understands how severe hypothermia can be. Okay, so I think that's pretty good for ways you can prevent it. So now I guess we'll just move on to how to treat hypothermia. So for this, I've broken it up into 7 steps. So step 1 is just to look for the symptoms of hypothermia that we've covered up here. And if you see them, obviously you'll move on to the next step. If not, then there's no need to continue.
That's good. Is there a symptom that's more, it happens usually the first symptom of hypothermia is one of those things?
Well, shivering will probably be one of the first things you'll see. People might even shiver without actually having hypothermia technically, but it could be a sign that they're starting to move into the hypothermia range. So that could be one that you'll start to see early. Yep.
I've always thought that when your lips turn blue is a symptom. Is that a symptom?
Yeah, it might be, especially for younger kids. Your face changing color and your lips turning blue is a symptom.
Because even when I'm in the water, sometimes my lips just turn blue.
Right.
Just They just turn blue because I get really cold.
Okay. Yeah, so that probably is a symptom then. And then step 2, if the symptoms are severe, so if you're seeing these 2 symptoms, or there's probably many other ones that we just didn't cover today, but if you start seeing those, the first thing you should do is call 911. Even if you're not sure if they have hypothermia or not, or if it's severe or not, you might still, it's always your best bet just to be safe and call 911. If they come and they don't have it, it doesn't really matter. But if they do have hypothermia and there's no one to help them, it could seriously injure them or maybe even kill them. Okay, so step 3 is also, if you did call 911 and they have severe symptoms, is to begin CPR. This you'll very rarely come across, but if they do go unconscious, then you might need to start doing this. But if you're not trained to, don't try it. Get someone who's certified to do CPR. Step 4, this is for no matter what happened, no matter how severe the case is, get them into a warm place. Because if you're waiting outside in the cold, it's obviously just going to get worse. The first thing you want to do is just get them somewhere warm where they can start to warm up. Step 5 is remove any wet clothing. So if they fell in the water, you're going to want to get that off them as soon as possible because that's just cooling them down even more. Step 6, you're going to want to give them warm drinks. So just cool them or warm them up from the inside mostly instead of, And then finally we have step 7, which is giving them external heat, like hot water bottles, or putting them near fire, even giving them like your own body heat, like wrapping them up in a blanket and stuff like that. Okay, so that basically covers everything that we're going to do today. Now I just want to do a little bit of a quiz on you two. So, does anyone remember the objective of today, which is the first thing I said? Yeah?
I don't know. Well, what we're working on hypothermia, but I don't know if this is right, but I'm guessing you said, today we're going to be talking about hypothermia, is that right?
Yeah, so hypothermia, that's the main subject that we're going to be covering, and also what it is, how to prevent it, and then how to treat it if it does happen. And also, can I just get 2 things that you guys learned from today? Yep.
Okay, so there are 2 different kinds of hypothermia. Well, 2 different stages, right?
Right.
So there's, like, if your body temperature is below 35, no, is it 35?
Yeah, 35.
Yeah, 35, then you have the first stage thing, and then if it's below 32, then you have the second stage of hypothermia that can be.
Okay, well, I just want to say one thing about that. For this situation, I kind of just divided it up into 2 categories, but you can be anywhere in that range. It's not like it's just you either don't have hypothermia, you have a mild case of hypothermia, or you have severe hypothermia. It can be anywhere in between.
Yeah, that's just something I learned.
Yeah, okay.
Right. There's different stages. Well, the one thing that I learned is that not shivering is a sign of
Yeah.
severe hypothermia. It seems like it wouldn't be.
Yeah, that surprises a lot of people, actually, because most people think if you're not shivering, that means you're not cold. But actually, it can mean you're not cold, but also it can mean that you pass the stage of just mild symptoms and you're moving on to where hypothermia is getting
That's a really
dangerous.
good one to watch out for.
Yeah. Yep.
I also never knew that nausea was a symptom, or hunger. I don't really get why hunger.
Yeah.
Well, those 2 are a bit less obvious.
Because you're just cold, so you just want food.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't really make sense, but I don't know.
Yeah, you probably won't see those as often. They're kind of more on the rare case, but if you really know what you're doing and you know all these and you happen to see that, you might want to just look out for it.
Right.
If you see some of the other symptoms also, any of you have anything else you want to say? Stuff you learned?
How to prevent it? Well, I already said that. How to prevent it? Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was on the subject.
Okay.
That was one of the other things you learned, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a great lesson. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. I really hope you learned a lot, and that concludes this lesson.
Great. Thanks.